Hi, this is Joe again with another review. For the sake of this video, we'll be discussing it. Instead of doing a usual introduction, I figured do a little background on this video. Some time ago, I did a review. I did a video for the Cape Fear movies. Not really going into full detail of the original film, but mostly focusing on the second one because that's the one I've seen the most times, and I actually have the DVD of the remake. Excuse me. Because the 1991 remake, the Martin Scorsese directed, was the one that I have the DVD of. And that's the one I've seen the most times, so I mostly focus on the remake, and that I referenced the original one, but I never did a full review of the original. So that's the one movie I'm doing in this video, the original 1962 film Cape Fear. I'm going to be doing a full review of the original film in this video. Of course, it stars Gregory Peck, Robert Mitchum, Morris Blossom. You have Pauline Bergen in this movie as well, and of course, you also had a pre-Kojak Telly Savalas in this film as well. Of course, this movie, was what Martin Scorsese made the remake of, and he did a fine job doing the remake, but he changed a whole bunch of stuff compared to the original film, and that's what I'm going to get into in this video. The original film, like I said, came out way back in 1962, 29 years before the remake, which is a pretty good time in years to do a remake of a film. Not all these reboots for the superhero films we have today. Like I said, Gregory Peck plays the main character, Sam Bowen, who is an attorney down in a small southern town, who almost right away within the first 5 minutes, gets confronted by an ex-con who the character's name is Max Cady, played by Robert Mitchum. He was terrific in this role. And Max Cady recently got out of jail for 8 years for rape, even though the word rape was not mentioned in the film. And Robert Mitchum decides to exact revenge on Sam Bowen, played by the Gregory Peck character. Of course, the reason why unlike the remake, Gregory Peck never defended the Robert Mitchum character, of the Max Cady character in the original film. Unlike in the remake, where Nick Nolte was played the Sam Bowen character, who defended Max Cady in a aggravated rape case. This one, Sam Bowen, the Gregory Peck character, was in Baltimore on a different matter, on a different case. 8 years earlier in Baltimore, Sam Bowen was in Baltimore on a case, and he happened to be walking back to his hotel one night, and his girl was being attacked. And he used the word assault. He assaulted the girl. Meanwhile, it was actually Max Cady, Robert Mitchell, raped this girl, and so he, put a stop to it, and actually and someone else called the police, and of course Sam Bowen testified in the trial, and Max Cady went to jail for 8 years for rape. So now 8 years later, Max Cady does his time in prison, and he's out, and he decides to go on his mission to get exact revenge on the guy who testified against him in trial. And that's pretty much what the whole plot is. And of course, like I said, it's a slight variation in the remake for the original movie was on the motivation of Max Cady. I should mention the remake. The remake was when Sam Bowen defended Max Cady, and he buried a report that the girl who Cady was accused of raping she fooled around a lot. She had sex with a whole bunch of guys, and so because of that, it proved that she likes to fool around with guys, she likes to rough and all that type of thing. But even so Sam in the remake buried that particular report, and Max Cady got 14 years in jail. That didn't happen in the original remake, in the original film. So through the whole film, Max Cady, little by little, starts to really. He was kind of like a stalker, even though they didn't have any stalker laws. Either in 1962 in the original film or even the 91 remake, there was no such thing as stalker laws then. So for either film, so Max Cady was just doing little by little just to scare Sam Bowen and his family, really. And of course, it starts by the poisoning of their dog. Of course, which you didn't see in either film, really, but it's implied that Max Cady poisoned the dog. And so, because of that, Sam got his friend, who was the police chief in town, played by Morton Blossom, of course, who played a great character actor, and solely the three main characters of this movie, all in the original kayfabe, all fortunately all passed away. Morton Blossom, of course, is more famous for being in Archie Bunker's place, playing Archie's partner for 2 years on that 4-year run of the show. Plays a police chief, and he got Max Cady, and then of course he did have a famous strip scene, strip search that you had in the original kayfabe movie. I was saying the remake. Robert De Niro was strip searched by the cops. In this film, of course, they did a strip search with everybody, with all the main characters in the room, really, and of course nothing was found. Nothing, of course, could be proven that Max Cady is doing all this stuff. So of course it's very limited what the cops could do. It's very limited what Gregory Peck could do, and because he was really like a non-violent guy, and of course and so what am I supposed to do with this guy? Lie in wait when he attacks me or attacks my family and kill him? And because my mom said, "Hey, don't do that. I don't encourage you to do that stuff. You don't, no vigilante justice going on around here." Even at that time, 1962. So what they did was they decided to hire a private investigator. And I don't like in the remake, the private investigator's name was Kurchek. That was not the case in the original. He had a different name and was played by Telly Savalas. And he followed Max Cady around, and Max Cady knew he was being followed by this guy. And that Robert Mitchum was being followed by Telly Savalas. So, but even with that, Robert Mitchum attacks, Max Cady, he attacks another girl who had a reputation of fooling around. But the girl did not want to, like in the remake, the girl did not want to prosecute. Did not want to press charges, because naturally, of course, she would get the blame for instigating with the guy, for being there in the first place, and all that type of thing. Or what type of clothes you wearing? Were you wearing a sexy dress, and were you flirting with the guy, and you're leading him on, type of stuff. So she leaves and says, "Okay, what the hell?" And so Sam Bowen goes, "What the hell am I going to do now?" And it's this guy, like, they want you hire like 3 guys. So he, like in the remake, they had 3 guys being of Cady, but Cady got the best of the 3 guys. And Cady's lawyer planning to try to get Sam Bowen disbarred for doing this. So of course, then he set up by in Atlanta the hearing for the for the disbarment hearing. So he's trying to fake Cady out. So they set up go to Cape Fear, and there is an actual place, Cape Fear. So it's not anything that's made up for the movies, or the 2 movies, the 2 Cape Fear films. So they set up Lion Ray, and Sam Bowen is actually there with a state trooper, and the state trooper's name was Kurchek. So that's when the only time where you see the Kurchek character who was a state trooper in the original film. Unlike the remake where Kurchek was the private investigator in the remake, played by Joe Don Baker in the remake, the private investigator. So, naturally, of course, Lionel Ray and Katie does go and attack Bowen's wife, played by Polly Bergen, and then he doesn't rape her. He just knocks her around a little bit, or physically assaults her without raping her. Because actually, even in 1962, they're not going to show a rape scene. For 1962 audiences, they were not going to show a rape scene. I mean, you didn't even see a rape scene in any movie until the 1988 film The Accused, with Jodie Foster. Then you just physically saw the rape scene, or Jodie Foster's character being raped in that movie. So in 1962, you're not going to see that. You're just going to see it as implied that she got. It was implied that she got raped, but she didn't say the word. She just got, let's say, beat up a little bit, but not raped. So then they realized that Katie was going after the daughter, and of course that's when they just naturally only in the movies. In the nick of time, Gregory Peck saves the daughter, and then they have a huge big fist fight scene, which was lacking in the remake. A big fight scene between Gregory Peck and Robert Mitchum, which is very rarely that you physically see Gregory Peck. At least the few Gregory Peck movies that I have seen, when you actually see him get into a physical fist fight, and down and dirty, dragged out, bare knuckle fist fight with somebody. And it was a pretty good fight scene. And of course, naturally, all the fight scenes are choreographed anyway, but it is a pretty good fight scene. And to have Gregory Peck got the better of Robert Mitchum, and he pulls a gun on, and Gregory Peck actually pulls a gun on him, and in the last second says, "I'm not going to kill you. I want to see you rot in jail." Which, of course, is different than what was in the remake, because Max Cady character dies at the end by drowning, because he was handcuffed to what was left of the houseboat, and the houseboat sank, dragged Max Cady under, and of course he drowns. Sam Bowen didn't even deliver in the remake, didn't deliver the final blow on him, because of he just missed him, because he got dragged because Max Cady gets dragged under by a houseboat in the remake. But the film ends with the three family members, Gregory Peck, Polly Bergen, and the daughter, just going back down the river back home to the home in Georgia. But the film itself, I do recommend this movie because it is slightly different than the remake, but it's just as good, and Robert Mitchum gives like a real stunning performance in this film. So that's for my review of the 1962 version of Cape Fear, the original version. Please click on the video, please rate it, feel free to comment. Please subscribe to my channel, please forward this video onto your Facebook pages. You can check out all my reviews not only on my YouTube channel at rowdyc.com, that's OWDY, and that's C.com. Homepage of Rowdy Reviewer, Christy Moore, and please check out all of his videos on his website. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.